Kia ora, welcome to 3 News. A Venezuelan living in New Zealand says finding out US elite forces had snatched President Maduro from his compound was the happiest moment of her life. Maduro will face drugs, weapons and conspiracy charges in a New York court tomorrow. Meanwhile, the United States is getting on with the business of running the country, with Trump warning Vice President Cilia Flores she could face a worse fate than Maduro if she doesn't cooperate. Adam Hollingworth reports.
When news broke Caracas was being bombed, Kath Halkett says fear turned to uncertainty, turned to joy.
When they actually said that they captured Maduro, I have to be honest with you, that was the most amazing and happiest moment of my life.
Catherine Halkett fled the Maduro regime in 2014 and now lives in Timaru, where she works as a doctor. She was tear-gassed in protests and says she knew people who were tortured or killed. Her father and mother still live there.
She didn't know what was going on. She's like, hello. And we tell her, they took Maduro, and she started crying of happiness and waking my dad up and turning the TV on. She was so happy.
It's a head-spinning sight to see a head of state welcomed not with a red carpet, but with the blue perp walk runway of the Drug Enforcement Administration.
Good night. Happy New Year.
And tomorrow, Nicolas Maduro will get the same treatment as anyone else up on drugs or weapons charges in a New York courthouse.
We are in a safer and better place because
on the Sunday talk shows, Trump's acolytes rolled out the new U.S. foreign policy.
This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live, and we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be a base of operation for adversaries, competitors, and rivals of the United States.
And Venezuela might just be the first step. White House senior advisor Stephen Miller's wife Katie posted this star-spangled map of Greenland with the caption, "Soon." In response, Denmark's Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, urged Trump to stop the threats. Meanwhile, the New York Times reports the last straw for Trump was Maduro's dad dancing. It was just too defiant.
No crazy girl.
Of course, the White House itself has been turning out a tune or two in the propaganda wars, spraying its face with rap and rock. The New York Times report concludes with the opposition in exile, out of sight and out of mind. Trump saw Vice President Delcy Rodriguez as a more amenable alternative. That came with a threat, as Trump last night warned she will pay a very big price if she doesn't do what's right, probably bigger than Maduro. Trouble is, what's left of Maduro's administration is still hanging tough. The head of the armed forces went on TV, flanked by senior officers, to categorically reject the cowardly kidnapping of Maduro. And Maduro supporters were out in force to protest against what they see as a new era of American imperialism.
We are against all the actions that the Trump government has taken over our country. We want our president back.
America is the best of the two evils. We cannot be worse than what we are right now. So anything is an improvement.
Catherine Halkett says Maduro's supporters are in the minority because most Venezuelans, like her mother, daren't yet take to the streets.
She says she would love to celebrate, but that's not an option for them. Because the regime, just because they took Maduro, doesn't mean this is over. There are still people like Delcy Rodriguez, Diosdado Cabello, and people are scared of going out to the streets because there will be repercussions.
The legality of Washington's actions will fall under the UN spotlight tomorrow. But Halkett says, regardless, they still did the right thing.
I am not pro-Trump. I don't like him. And I suppose I shouldn't be saying this publicly, but I think he was crazy enough. And we should be grateful for him being crazy enough to be doing this, because nobody else would have done this.
Trump did do it, but the consequences will play out home and abroad in the coming months.